Imagine walking into a room where every single person is secretly terrified of your silence, waiting to see if you will crack under the pressure they built. Your pulse beats at a steady, controlled rhythm, completely untouched by the invisible tension choking the air around you. You do not explain yourself, you do not seek validation, and you refuse to offer a single crumb of emotional reaction. What happens next is not merely a social win, it is the total evaporation of the room's collective power over your mind. Society conditions us to believe that compliance, over-explaining, and emotional availability keep the peace, but masters of deep psychological control know that absolute emotional detachment is the ultimate weapon of sovereignty. This is not about being cold, this is about the architecture of the untouchable mind, a psychological shield used by history's most powerful operators to navigate toxic systems without leaving a single trace of vulnerability. Welcome back to What Else Official. Today we are exploring why your constant need to be understood is the invisible leash controlled by your environment and how snapping that leash forever grants you absolute freedom. Why are human beings so terrified of being misunderstood? From the moment we step into society, we are conditioned to believe that silence equals defeat. Someone misjudges us and we rush to correct them, a rumor spreads and we panic to defend our name, a critic attacks us and we spend hours justifying our worth. We are like puppets on invisible strings, dancing the exact routine that our manipulators wrote for us. The predator's greatest weapon isn't their authority, it's your desperate need for their approval. If they know you cannot bear being disliked, they own every single move you make. But what happens when you drop the strings completely? What happens when they look for your outrage and find a bottomless void? This is where true psychological independence begins. It is the profound peace of no longer caring what others think of your character. It is the unshakable calm of letting people misunderstand you while you watch from an impenetrable distance. Have you ever felt that intense, burning urge to defend your honor to someone who is clearly trying to provoke you? That itch is your ego begging for a master. In this deep dive, we are going to teach you how to starve that ego until your internal peace becomes completely immune to outside noise. We are going to look at the psychology of the untouchable mind, showing how a total refusal to engage with petty games creates a gravitational pull that quietly commands absolute respect. We will show you why the most dangerous person in any room is never the loudest arguer, but the one who is completely at peace watching the chaos unfold. In the coming chapters of this exploration, we will break down the mechanics of absolute psychological insulation and why high-value individuals use selective detachment as an ultimate filter for their energy. We will examine the physiological shift that happens when you stop draining your battery on opinions that do not matter and start guarding your focus like a sacred temple. Are you ready to stop defending yourself? Are you ready to see what happens when you give your critics absolute nothingness? The silence is waiting and your true awakening starts right now. What else are they hiding behind their manufactured dramas? Let's find out together as we descend into the architecture of the untouchable mind. Prepare yourself because once you experience the power of standing completely outside the trap, you can never go back to being a reactive pawn again. To understand the power of the untouchable mind, we must first understand the mechanics of psychological baiting. Every toxic environment, every professional manipulator, and every energy vampire operates as an emotional hunter tracking your defensive triggers. They do not just want your compliance, they want your cognitive bandwidth. They are constantly poking, testing, and casting hooks, waiting for you to take the bait, bite down, and start thrashing in defense. That reaction is their profit. It is how they feed on your energy and keep you tethered to their game. If they can make you argue, they can make you care. If they can make you care, they have successfully hijacked your nervous system. The moment you begin defending your choices on their terms, you have already accepted their courtroom. You have validated their right to judge you. But the architecture of the untouchable mind completely flips the script by abolishing their jurisdiction entirely. It is the ultimate refusal to stand trial. When you provide zero cognitive friction, the emotional predator begins to starve. They throw tantrums, they escalate their accusations, and they try louder provocations, expecting the usual frantic defense, but instead they find a brick wall of absolute indifference. This creates a massive psychological meltdown in the attacker because their entire strategy relies on a feedback loop. When you break the loop by doing nothing, their brain short-circuits. They expose their desperation to everyone watching while you remain the calm, untouched observer of their unraveling. Think of the psychological armor of absolute insulation. It is a state designed to make your inner world completely inaccessible to external weather. No emotional spikes, no frantic justifications, no predictable triggers. By becoming a fortress of quiet focus, you vanish from the radar of people who thrive on drama. This is not about running away, it's about becoming completely immune. When a manipulative system tries to map your vulnerabilities, they look for your pride, your need for fairness, or your fear of a bad reputation. Mastering the untouchable mind means training your nervous system to stay rooted in absolute neutrality, no matter how hard the wind blows. You might see the manipulation happening right in front of you, but inside, you treat it like static noise fading into the background. This untouchable distance creates an aura of quiet authority. People instinctively respect what they cannot rattle. This silence acts as a natural filter, weeding out everyone who wants to use you while attracting those who value real substance. High-value individuals use this naturally because they know that true power never has to defend itself. They know that in any chaotic environment, the person who refuses to drop down to the level of the noise is the one who quietly commands the entire space. We are going to show you how to apply this to institutional pressure, toxic relationships, and the endless digital distractions demanding your soul. The quiet space is not empty, it is where your real power accumulates. Are you ready to see how reality straightens itself out when you stop trying to argue with fools and simply step out of their arena? What else are they concealing behind their frantic demands for your explanation? Now that you have mastered the mechanics of the untouchable mind, you must conquer the final frontier, which is the silence of the internal narrative. The most dangerous trap you will ever face is not set by the world outside, but by the conditioned voice inside your own mind telling you that you must always clear your name, prove your intelligence, and fight for your dignity. When you master the architecture of absolute detachment, you are not just winning a social dynamic, you are winning the war for your own sanity. You are training your brain to realize that other people's projections, gossip, and manufactured crises have zero authority over your objective reality. Their chaos is their property, not yours. Their judgment is a reflection of their internal prison, never a measure of your worth. By refusing to engage with low-vibration static, you reclaim massive reservoirs of vital energy that you used to spill on people who never deserved a second of your time. You transform into an unbreakable pillar of calm in a world addicted to panic. This is the true hallmark of a high-value individual, the radical capacity to remain entirely sovereign regardless of what is happening around you. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the absolute master of your own focus. You see the traps being laid, you see the emotional hooks flying through the air, and you simply look the other way because your attention is too valuable to waste. The world will constantly try to drag you back into the mud, engineering new ways to make you loud, reactive, and defensive. But your eyes are open now. You know that your quiet is your sanctuary and your non-participation is your supreme weapon. You have learned that the ultimate defeat for an emotional predator is a target that refuses to feel hunted. You are now the unshakable variable that disrupts their entire machinery. What else could they possibly do to control you once you stop caring about their verdict? The power has entirely shifted and it belongs to your stillness. This is What Else Official, forging an unstoppable community of sovereign minds who refuse to be baited, refuse to defend themselves, and refuse to live by anyone else's script. If this deep dive into the psychology of the untouchable mind has shifted your paradigm, you are exactly where you belong. But this journey into the shadows only deepens from here. We want to hear from your perspective. Have you ever completely stopped defending yourself against a toxic person and watched them utterly implode? Have you ever felt that incredible surge of freedom when you realized victory required zero arguments? Drop your story in the comments below. Your breakthrough might be the exact catalyst someone else needs to break their chains. We read every single insight, and your experiences build the foundation of this community. If you found deep value in this exploration, hit the like button right now to tell the algorithm that true sovereignty matters and needs to reach those trapped in the noise. Make sure you are subscribed to What Else Official with all notifications turned on, because our next deep dive goes even further into the architecture of the human mind. Do not miss the next revelation. Join us, stay anchored, and remember that the most powerful thing you can do when the world demands your defense is to give it absolute silence. What else are they hiding from you behind the noise? We are going to uncover it together. See you in the next one. Stay still, Stay sovereign, stay silent. To push your psychological mastery even further, you must understand the dark art of tactical invisibility within social hierarchies. Most individuals spend their entire existence screaming for a seat at the table, exhausting their mental currency trying to impress people who fundamentally do not matter. They wear their ambitions on their sleeves, broadcasting every move, every goal, and every insecurity to a world that feeds on exploitation. But the true apex predators of social environments operate completely unseen. They understand that visibility is a form of vulnerability. When you are fully visible, you are easily targeted, easily mapped, and easily manipulated. By mastering tactical invisibility, you become a ghost in plain sight. You attend the meetings, you observe the political games, you watch the petty betrayals unfold, but you never leave a fingerprint. You offer no opinions unless forced, you reveal no personal details, and you treat your inner thoughts as classified state secrets. This creates a profound psychological vacuum around you. People do not know how to handle someone they cannot categorize. They begin projecting their own fantasies, fears, and respects onto your quiet exterior. You transform into a blank canvas where others reveal their true intentions while you remain an unreadable cipher. Think about the most influential figures across history and cinema. They rarely shouted their intentions from the rooftops. They moved with absolute stealth, letting others exhaust themselves in the noise while they conserved every ounce of operational energy. When you stop playing the game of constant self-disclosure, you instantly reclaim your power. You stop being a reactive participant and become the ultimate strategist of your own destiny. The crowd will always demand your performance, your outrage, and your compliance. But you now hold the ultimate countermeasure, the power of total elusiveness. They cannot defeat an opponent they cannot find, and they cannot control a mind that refuses to register on their radar. As you integrate this tactical invisibility into your daily life, watch how rapidly your environment shifts around you. Toxic people will drift away because they cannot feed on your energy, and genuine opportunities will align because your focus is no longer fractured by trivial static. You are no longer drifting with the current, you are standing completely outside the river, watching the chaos flow past you. What else are they missing while they chase shadows? They are missing the only person in the room who truly holds the controls, you. Keep your mind sharp, keep your presence hidden, and let your absolute stillness do the heavy lifting.